and welcome back to episode 8 of the Sons of Mayonnaise podcast. As always, I am Trace, and I'm joined by my beautiful lads.
When a stranger to love, you know the rules, and so do I. A book on it, that's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. Hi, I'm Blake.
Never gonna give you up.
I wanted it to keep going. Just
Yeah, no, I just wanted to.
I was curious how far it was gonna go.
I was wondering if we were going to get a
going ahead.
copyright strike.
If you're gonna go ahead and do that, you might as well commit to the full joke. Abe.
Hi, I'm Abe.
Hi, I'm Grim.
I am alone.
Hi, I'm Flock of Seagulls. Or Ray.
Hi, I'm 2, and currently I'm playing with a flock of seagulls.
God.
Good. It's very good. Always a wonder to be healed. You know who wasn't healed last time? Abe.
Yeah.
So you wanna explain what happened? Your frustration.
Yep. So starting on that. So basically, so for starters, let me just give you a general annoyance my house has. My house has weird wiring where like whatever they built this place, something messed up because we had an electrician out here once, and we've had issues where we've lost the like our front living room TV. It got damaged because of being overpowered because the wiring was too much electricity is hit there. The freaking thing was starting to form black bars, and we even had it go like chromatic, like where the colors were shifting. So the wiring in my house is messed up for starters. Now, apparently, between my room and another room next over, there's an issue where you can't have two heaters on, or at least not two big heaters. And so when that happened, the power in both rooms got cut out, and because both got cut out, my computer was on, and when I turned it back on, something happened, something very annoying, and that something was I lost audio. I couldn't hear, and I couldn't send audio back. So, and then that was like literally 20 minutes before the podcast was about to start, or something close to that. So I immediately was like, what the hell's going on? And I just immediately started going through anything I could on the internet to try to find out how to fix it. Didn't find anything for the next 2 days. Well, no, I didn't find anything that solved it because it was like honestly to fix this. The big issue, let me just say at the end, was I apparently had to update Windows, and that fixed it. That's the stupidest thing to a fix that I've ever had. But
Yeah, that's a really ridiculous fix.
But that's all I really needed to do. But everything else involved me having to. Well, there was also a second issue with apparently this thing called audio services. Audio services basically it what tells your drivers how to handle with like the software to handle with the hardware, and that was like off for some reason. It didn't want to connect, and by the time I got that working, it still wasn't. Like that took me like a day to figure out. Again, going through like diagnostic issues that I was trying to figure out. By the time I got that to work out, it still wasn't working, and I had to call tech support, and they basically told me, "Oh, you need to update this." That was like the one solution, the very last solution that for some reason. Because here's another thing, and this is also the same with my dad's computer. Something's off with Windows update. When you update Windows, there's some separate application that's not in the settings anymore to update Windows for some reason, something like that. It was just all a pain. But anyway, I got that fixed, and that just felt like that just increased my need for Windows because it just felt excessively unnecessary for something as tiny as that. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to get out, but it was just really annoying.
Welcome to streaming.
Updates come out.
Yeah. Here's another thing. And whenever, sometimes beforehand, sometimes my computer. Well, I don't know what you guys do. I like to use my because I don't like. Even though just shutting it down and turning it back on is not much of a hassle, but sometimes I just want to just turn it back on and be on my computer. I I can't leave my computer in sleep mode sometimes when a Windows update shows up, because in the middle of the dead of night, my computer will turn on and remind me, hey, Windows update. You better do it.
Mine does something worse. It'll break my audio.
Really?
It'll just break if I leave it on weirdly and it goes into sleep mode. It screws. It hates everything. And it's really annoying. I think it's ever since I added the Go XLR, if I'm honest. But
Yeah, you'll notice a lot more. Windows updates breaks everything. Audio. Especially on streaming, since you have so much like into audio and things like that.
yeah.
So you notice it a lot
the
more.
USB shit I've got. Apparently AMD had a problem with some of their USB connections for a lot of AMD processors, and the solution was to take your PCIe slot from Gen 4 to Gen 3, and it fixes the USB issues they were having. That's a dumb fix.
I got an issue with mine where at all night, about every in between a half hour to maybe like 2 hours, the screens will come on. No notifications, just the screens just pop on.
That's the CIA. It's like, well, hello there, Wolf. Whoa, put some pants on.
Also, a little bit before, so my computer once or twice just turned on. I mean, turned off and reset itself completely just by itself. Like no confirmation by me. I could have my stuff open. It just closed. Now, I didn't have that much like important stuff up, but I guarantee you, if it was someone else, they would be pissed off. Like my computer's not the worst. Like I do get sometimes issues when I'm running like 1 or 2 streams in the side, but like also after I finally got these major updates, it's running a lot better, which I don't completely understand. I don't know how Windows really does affect my computer's performance. I run diagnostics always.
They probably optimize Windows, and that's what you're seeing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know particularly either.
It's kind of like how if a game is running shitty and then they update it and optimize it, and except Arc's the exception. It makes it worse. You'll notice a difference in like graph or FPS and all that.
So the next game we're playing as a group is Ark?
Arc 2.
Yeah, Arc 2.
Or I still have.
Oh, we could be Vin Diesel in Arc 2,
Yeah,
can't we?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
remember
still
this.
float around. What was the other game? Project Zomboid and something else. Like
Ooh.
that new game Coast
pick up
playing.
from there.
What's it called? Valheim.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna be
Deadcraft.
probably gonna be going next.
Don't tell Trasky though. It's gonna be a surprise for him.
He's been asking us to play Valheim for the entire time that we've been playing Rust.
Yep.
Some kind of
I
trouble.
had to go do something, but I wanted to go back to Abe's electrical.
Yeah.
So the first day I moved into my new house, I found out I couldn't plug again because I run all my my modules, my computer, all into a battery just in case.
Yeah, I got one.
I got an oversold.
That's how I charge my phone.
Surge
So I had,
protector.
I had that plugged into a socket, and then I plugged in a lamp into my room. I was like, you know what? I could use some lighting here just in case don't want to turn on like my main light. I plugged it in, and it just shut all my power down in my room. It just completely just all went. And,
breaker.
and yeah, ever since then, for whatever reason, because I've had my room go out like just my room a few times, so I've been very careful with how much I've plugged in anywhere, how much power I'm just drawing.
I'm not an expert,
everything.
but I know a little bit. That's an they've taken a circuit and put too many things on that one circuit.
Well, it's just really weird because I have like a huge room, so you figure
It's
my
not
room-
just your room, probably. They probably got other shit tied in there they shouldn't.
I can say from old houses, yes. Like the room I'm in now, even though there's 5 outlets in it. All outlets in the room are one circuit.
Right,
Yeah,
but I
that's-
just don't. I just don't. It's all of my. It was just my room, nothing else went on.
Yeah, that's actually quite normal.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, like, my
It's
room.
It's just
annoying.
because how old is the house?
Only, I think only like 7, 8 years, something like that.
Yeah,
That's
then
not
that
that
doesn't
bad.
make sense.
So
Because then they should have built that with modern.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my
modern.
old
drawing.
house is older than me, and it's fine. I never had any issues when it comes to like a break or just my room, and I had like
I
less
feel great.
sockets in my room too. And I had a lot of stuff connected. I had everything in my room like plugged in, and this one.
Dude, like
I
none of
had-
the plugs arced or anything, did they? Because I know that can set breakers too. If like a plug arcs, it'll automatically trip a breaker. Like if you have a loose connection in one of the plugs or something like that.
No, I think everything in mine was fine. I just don't know what happened. But,
So,
I do
another-
empathize with-
another issue there could be is they use the wrong gauge
Help me with
wire
this.
in the walls.
Yeah.
Well, one issue we have solved is my room, for whatever reason, they were cheaping out when it came to the tubing for electricity. Well, it's supposed to be like a 3-inch or whatever. I mean, it's supposed to be 4-inch, but they use 3-inch. So like I'm just getting like less air, like AC coming into my room.
Oh, you're talking about the ducts.
Yeah.
My ducts all smaller than they're supposed to be. So like
Yeah,
I'm
that
getting-
doesn't surprise me. Is it in like a neighborhood where they built a bunch of them?
Yes.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
they're all all
'Cause
identical ones.
do you know
But-
you know how that works for those builders?
Well,
Every
yeah.
4th house is free, basically.
But
Uh,
what is just funny though, it's just my room. Like no other room has it, it's only my room again.
Like your room was the last one they got to, and they're like, "Okay, we
Well,
can
my
just
room, my room's like the biggest room. It's like it's not the master room, 'cause it doesn't have like the bedroom, I mean the bathroom connected to it. But by square footage, other than like the main living room, which connects to the kitchen and dining room, because that's all one room, because there's no doors. But like bedroom-wise, my bedroom is the biggest bedroom.
That's weird that the biggest bedroom is not the master.
Well, the master has more square feet because of the bathroom plus the walk-in closet. I just have like an extremely small closet. But I have the biggest room, and they cheapened out on the biggest room. And we have 2 other rooms, or 2 other bedrooms, that are like very small. Well, not very small, but they're like about half the size of my room. And they're fun. Both of them are fun. So I don't know why mine got fucked. But it's just
Odds.
for whatever reason.
Come here, moment.
Maybe they switched electricians halfway when they got to your room, and then it's like, well, there you go. I mean, you never know with the job site and how all that crap works.
I also think my the guy we're renting from just probably didn't do a lot of stuff beforehand. Like the person living in this house before us been living here for years. Like who was renting it, and he had to do a lot of stuff. Like he had to paint a lot of walls and stuff after that person left because they were just living there for so long. And so I don't know if this house is just aged poorly or if he just didn't really upkeep a lot of things. But I do sympathize with Abe when it comes to poor electric wiring.
Because we've
It's-
lost 2 TVs. One of them is not so bad in the basement. The other one, literally, you saw the red and blue shift. And that thing was like, what the hell just happened? Nothing hit it. Just randomly one day it was like that. And the thing that happened was, whenever we turn on our vacuum, that sucks in a lot of power into the living room. So when we clean our living room, every time it was getting overpowered, and if we had the TV on. And the weird thing that we weren't noticing when this was happening is that whenever we did turn on the vacuum, the freaking TV would flicker, or like it turned off and then turned back on for like a second. So if you see that, be careful with your TV.
There was someone, I can't remember, I think Bunny. I don't know if you guys know who Bunny is, but
Sadly.
I played some.
Oh, bunny!
Yeah. So I think he has something really dumb. I think he has like a microwave and something else all connected. So if someone tones up on the microwave, he loses like some power on his room, and I can't remember what exactly cuts off. But I think it's hilarious. Every time someone goes on microwave, he just like loses like I think it's just like a light or something. But there was just
Drains power. This drains power. And apparently losing power is just as bad as gaining power for any device.
But it's just for whatever reason, it's just his room too. It's just it's a small thing. I have to ask him what it is, but I know it's something with a microwave. But yeah, I do sympathize with you, Ed.
Well, Tress, your issue sounds like there's either too much on the wiring, or I forgot what the second one I was gonna say.
Well, let's put it this way: it's not
Short
our house.
caused
It's
that.
not our
Yeah,
house.
I
So
was gonna say maybe a rat or something ate through the wire
Yeah,
in the
nibbled
wall.
on a wire. Yeah.
there's nothing I can do about it right now. So, and plus, in like a year or two, we're thinking of trying to get another house. I think our current plan is we're basically renting it in 2 year plans. And so by the time our rent is up, my mom and dad are thinking of doing it again for another 2 years. But in that 2 year period, looking for another house. And so we move by that time because my dad's like, yeah, I don't want to move again in a year.
So what I did with my house was built in '91, and I could tell all the plugs and switches were from '91. So what I did about a year or two into my house, I noticed things plugging into them were loose, and I'm like, I just don't like this. So I'm not an electrician by any means, but I know how to turn off power. So what the simple solution for me was buy a shitload of plugs and switches, and I turned off power to the whole house one spring day, put a headlight on, and I went through and replaced every plug and switch in my whole house.
It's not hard to do plugs.
No,
Light switch is a little bit harder, but
yeah, what I did is I did them as I pulled them. I looked at how they were connected, got the same thing, put it in there. You know, it's just
yeah.
it's not hard, but it makes a world of difference when you replace all of them.
Just make sure the power's
So
off.
much
It hurts
nicer.
if you don't.
Yeah, I've messed with power a little bit. I've replaced my water heater. That's one thing about owning a house now. I've replaced my water heater. I did that on my own. You just got to learn. You know, it's like, well, how does this work? Well, do I pay $10,000 or I pay $1,000 and do it myself? I think I'll pay $1,000 and do it myself.
I did
And
electrical
if
work.
you fuck it up, then you just got to live with it.
I did electrical work with my grandpa, and he taught me a lot about it.
Yeah.
The other option there is to try and fix it yourself.
And then cry when you break it more.
Right when it's broken, and then get somebody in to do it all for you.
Well, you got to know your limit. Like moving the water heater, that wasn't too hard. It's moving a little bit of electrical and moving some plumbing. Like I'm planning a kitchen reno, and I'll probably do most of it myself. But when it comes to moving electrical plugs and switches and moving a washer and dryer plumbing to a different room, I'm going to call those people and be like, hey, I'm doing all this myself. What do you need me to do? What do you need? Because I don't want to, blow up or, electrocute myself or flood my house or,
The many numerous things that can go wrong.
Yeah.
Good old YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It makes a huge difference being in an era where you can just go online. That's how I used to fix my old car that break down all the time.
Yeah, I'd
What's this? How
YouTube
do
when
I
I work
fix
on my
this?
car.
Yeah. And somebody out there has made a video about it, I guarantee you.
Mm-hmm. Shoot, a lot of
Don't worry
mechanics
about
that I
cars.
know actually go on YouTube and these other various video sites for mechanics.
You really just said that in a really way. It made me think something else. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky in that respect. My dad is a mechanic and has been for many, many years, and up until recently when I moved interstate, if I ever had issues with a car, it was always ask him how to fix it, and we would normally do it ourselves.
Yeah, I learned through watching my dad. Somebody click OK.
Please.
My family's never been extremely technical savvy. So I've never had
So the only reason Dad could do, well, my grandfather was an aviation mechanic, but Dad learned the same way I did. You drove a car and you didn't have enough money to take it to the mechanic, so you just learned to do it yourself. It's not like you wanted to do it, it's just you had no options. You probably broke something along the way, but
As long as it still runs,
the
it's
money.
fine.
Yeah.
usually get away with a majority of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like things like oil changes and like I've been doing them for years. Like Dad used to have his own workshop, so
Yeah.
we'd
Oil changes
basically
are easy. That's the easiest thing you can do on a car.
It is, but at the same time, it takes time, and I'm just lazy, so I go get it done.
Well, I've got a brand new car now, so it's got a service contract with it, and I am not going to crawl up under there if they're going to do it for me for free.
Yeah.
like I've had new cars for the last few years and haven't had to do any of that myself.
I can't really say anything because I work at a car dealership.
If so, you do that, like Lone is the guy that does that.
Hey,
That's it.
Mine's a Subaru with a boxer engine. I've never done a boxer engine. I imagine it's very similar, but yeah. It's a different looking engine when you look at it. I looked at it and went, ooh, that looks weird. It uses like OW30 too, which is really interesting.
Are cool.
Yeah.
About the only thing you get that in is like Mobile One. And
Yeah.
look,
I'm probably gonna just let them do it at the dealership for as long as they'll give me discounts and then or do it for me for free until my warranty's out probably. Then I'll just
Yeah.
be like, eh.
we actually sell a package for tires also. Tires for life.
Wow. I got a guy for tires. I mean, this might be the oldest, most boring conversation we've had on the podcast. A couple old men around the coffee pot. I got a guy for tires. Name's Don.
Oh yeah, you guys number. I've been looking for new tires.
Oh man, I need a new tire guy.
Yeah, Blake would be a really guy we can listen. He has like that deep slang. He's got, you know, a few screws loose. That's what exactly the voice you did, Blake.
Billy Bob.
Really?
Another
over there,
guy
he'll-
who knows a guy who's friends with
If
Yeah,
you buy anything from Billy Bob, you know it fell off the back of a truck somewhere.
Damn right.
Billy Bob. Is there anyone who's actually named Billy Bob?
I imagine there is. I'm trying to think. I've met a guy named Bubba. I've never met one named Billy Bob.
There's an actor, obviously, you know.
Oh
Billy
yeah,
Bob
Billy
Thornton.
Bob Thornton. That's the one.
One and only.
But his name is William Robert. I mean, that's what Billy Bob is William Robert.
Yeah.
And he could have gone by anything else. He could have gone by Will. He could have gone by Rob. He could have gone by Bob.
You could have. You chose not to.
Yeah.
I mean, would you?
Well,
An awesome name
you
like
guys
that.
all call me Ray, but you're the only ones that actually call me Ray. My full name is Raymond, and most people call me that because it's just because my grandfather is Ray, because he's got the exact same name. If you ever share a name with somebody, you have to learn to differentiate.
I might know something a
that's
little bit
kind of-
about that. As you know, I am the third.
Yeah.
So
The other side must be barred.
Like I used to work with my grandfather when he set up his he brought a double wide in and he set up. See that's how you know I live in Alabama. My grandparents live in a double wide. Their double wide is freaking huge. It's a
double
trailer.
wide. Oh. Yeah.
You've
okay.
lived in Florida and know a double.
I mean,
I
never
know
hung
what
around
it is.
trailer folk people, so.
It's not in a trailer park. It's out in the country.
Oh.
They own their own land and they just stuck. They were like, we're gonna die before we can get a house paid off, so we're just gonna stick a double wide out here.
Holy
They're
shit.
freaking double wide. It's like 4,000 square feet. It's ridiculous. But we were doing the plumbing and stuff for it. And the problem is his name is Raymond. And when he gets mad at himself, he says his full name. Like when he talks to himself, and so do I. So we would hit our thumbs or
Raymond.
something and be like, damn it, Raymond. And we'd both be going, what, me? No, not you, me. And it's just so confusing.
Yeah, I specifically had to go by my because both my grandpa and my dad already go by our first name. So my mom was like, I'm not calling all three of you by the same name. We already have enough confusion when calling both of you by the same name. So that's why I go by my initials. And I like it because I hate my first name. But yeah, I do understand that.
I have a very good friend who is the, I think he's like the 6th or 7th
Like
in line.
a line like that? Really?
Yeah. Like
Huh.
the firstborn son of his family has always been named Will, or William.
So something like
so
Bill,
there's, like,
William, Willie.
Everyone, yeah, there's Bill, Willie, Bill, William, Will. And he goes by Will, his father goes by Bill, his grandfather goes by Billy. It's, yeah, it's quite extensive. Like you said, he's like the 6th or 7th in the line of firstborn sons named Will.
So my grandfather was named. He's Billy, but I've never seen any like of his legal people. I'm sure his name is William, but I've never heard anyone say William. Like I've never seen any people. Also, like I'm hearing a little reverb,
Yep.
but I've never
Oh.
had you. But I've never heard him like be called by his name. I mean, I have to assume that's what his full name is, but I'd be really astonished if it was just Billy. But my cousin's middle name is William, I think, because of my grandfather. I believe so. Does anyone else know have any family like that, or?
I have one that's really funny. And the only reason I say it's funny is you know how there's a different spelling for the name Bobby if it's for a girl?
Is
Yes.
it BOBBI or something like
Yes.
that? Yeah.
My cousin,
Oh shit.
who's a guy, his family has a picture of him and it has Bobby
More sail.
spelled as a girl.
Sing us a song.
I've
Ah,
always questioned whenever I see that picture. I'm like, huh? Why is it like that? And none of them know why they put it like that.
So they just accept it.
Yes, because it's like it's there. It's a picture of the whole family. It says all their names, but he's not spelled right.
The robot's dead.
Yep.
Fuck the robot.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I was trying not to mention it.
Yeah, I
Damn
was.
term.
We just kept
damn
going.
Skynet. What?
But
I'm still
as a,
trying to figure out how I'm getting feedback. But
as
never mind.
a
Please tell me you
I
can't
think
hear
you're
my
fine
cat.
now, because I didn't hear anything when I was speaking, like you were speaking.
I didn't hear anything. Yeah.
Okay.
It was just when I was saying names,
Hush now.
yeah. As a kid, I was thinking about naming my kid the fourth, but now that I've grown up, I'm like, one, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna have kids. Two, I'm not gonna give my name to my kid, just because I don't want him to be the fourth. I feel like that's kind of dated now, and I'm sure. One, my grandfather wouldn't kill. I'm sure my dad doesn't kill. He's actually joked about it with me. He's like, yeah, I don't really kill. So, probably wouldn't.
Names don't really mean the same as they used to.
I also don't really like... I mean, I get why people have named, like, middle names after, like, grandparents or grandfathers, stuff like that. I don't think I will. I mean...
What's funny is, for me, my first and middle name, one is one grandfather,
Someone
the
there?
other is the other grandfather.
Yeah.
Same for me.
Unless, like, if my wife would
I mean, they're not
be
bad
cool.
names or anything. It's not like I'm like Ulysses
Ulysses,
something, you
that's
know.
right. Premium.
Yeah, or like, yeah, or something. Ulysses, like, I'm trying to think of Phineas. Ulysses Phineas is like, or some weird, yeah. It's like they're relatively normal names. And how often do you really use your middle? I'm okay with middle names being passed down because really, how often do you use your middle name? I mean, most people
I
don't use their
never
middle name
Just
that
the
often.
initial, really.
Actually,
Strange.
technically,
Yeah.
I'm
my
but the one
mom's
true
name that
king
she
of
goes by is
Briars,
her middle
yet
name.
here I sit.
And so is grandma, but like the opposite grandma, like dad's mom. They go go by the middle names instead of the first names.
Yeah, something that does happen sometimes. But yeah, most of the time, most people don't, you know, just.
My cousin actually changed her first and middle name because she goes by her middle name more, so she swapped them legally.
The older generation, it's very common for them to go by that sort of. Their first name tends to be just for legal purposes, and their middle name is the name that they're known by. Like that's a common thing in Australia here, at least anyway.
I mean,
What was it? My grandfather, his family, when he was a kid, God, I can't remember what they called him. But they never, that might be, he was Missouri, so I don't know if that counts as the South. But they never called him by his name. Like his name was Raymond, like mine, but they would call him Buck or something. They assigned him a nickname, and even to this day, he's 80 years old, and we go back for a family reunion. You know his brothers and sisters that any other family call him? Buck. And it's like, where did this come from?
I like the Tom. They assigned him a middle name.
They assigned him a name, yeah.
They like.
He doesn't even remember where it comes from. He just said it just happened. It's like,
It's like how my mom in our family, all the cousins and all, call her Cookie. Her name's not Cookie.
Yeah, I've had
so
seen that.
So my sister's name is Elena, right? She works at a daycare. I have a bunch of nieces and nephews. Kids have problems saying her name. So do you know what everybody calls her? All the kids? La. She's La.
I call my cousin that.
That's as close as they could get to Elena. So now she's like the director at a daycare, and it's funny as hell for me to hear a kid run up to her and go, "Hey, Miss La," because all I can sit there is go, "Po, Tinky Winky." I do that to her sometimes too. All I can think is Teletubbies.
Do.
The thing that's funny for me is I call my cousin Lala, and her name has nothing. Her name is Liz. Where did I get Lala from?
Yeah, kids will just
Probably
say stuff.
from just being a kid. You
Yeah,
just,
kids will just
now I
say
still
stuff
call her
sometimes.
that. Now I still call her that just for the heck of it.
you just associate the L's and do that.
Yeah, my dad told us to call my uncle Uncle Zachary, and the joke was that his butt looked exactly like his face. And us kids thought that was so funny.
Yeah, okay, that is pretty good.
That's a dad joke from way back.
Yeah, but that's a good one.
He's an inspiration to me.
Yeah.
He's-
Can I get his signature?
Yeah, can I get his number? I need to have a talk with him.
Can I get his
I need some pointers.
Phil, that's just a weird statement.
Yeah,
You just
that-
asked for my dad's number. That was real
Yeah.
weird.
I'll take his number.
You don't want him.
Is he single?
No. 30 years? 32? 50? I don't know. A million years? They've been married forever. I don't know.
just keep on naming numbers.
Do they swing?
I don't want to know. You're asking about my mother and my father.
I know.
It's a little strange.
That's
why I'm asking.
Swing?
I don't know. Probably.
Did you have a fishbowl by your door?
What?
What?
That's a swingers thing. Yeah, you drop your
Empty
keys in the
fishbowl.
fishbowl. Empty fishbowl. Sorry, yeah.
You drop.
You drop your
what?
keys.
Is that
Yeah,
why?
and then
Is
you
that why
pull
they
the
did it
keys,
in
and
the
that's the
Grinch?
one you go with. Oh, they did do that. Yeah, I think that was a kind of nod to it. I think that was kind of a joking kind of, haha, look at this.
Secret.
I didn't actually knew about that, so.
Yeah. The Grinch had a lot of that. A lot of those movies back then had a lot of adult humor that kids just would never get.
I didn't get it as an adult, apparently.
Yeah, I don't also get it.
Yeah.
You have
was
to be
like a
in that
70s
lifestyle.
thing, though, I think.
Old
You have to be
generation.
a part of that. Yeah. Yeah, I still don't understand it, but
Everybody puts their keys in the fishbowl, and you pull a key out, and that's who you go home with.
okay, yeah, now I got it. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, you like Nerdy Ned over there? Yep, you're going home with him. You pulled out the keys for his 1972 Pinto. Don't explode on your way home.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
After this sounds.
Oh, you're talking about the
wholesome.
car. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, the
that's
car.
true.
Yeah. What else? Well,
God. You see a Pinto? That'd be really. A Pinto is like a two. That would be real hard to do anything in. What you need is like John with the giant station wagon, or the freaking VW bus. You know.
Or if someone has a Hummer, first gen.
In the 70s.
I know, back then it wasn't around.
When they come out, 80s.
Late 80s, I want to say.
that's after Hero Car Expo. Is all.
First
Well,
gen.
they were
like, to the-
military first.
They
though.
were military before, yes.
That's
I would
why
say 80s, but yeah, I don't think they were available to civilians at least the 90s, right? Might have been late 80s when they were available to civilians. I don't know. I've never cared enough about the Hummer to know any of this.
I agree. I mean, I always liked them when I was younger.
I wish the
You know,
first
they were-
gen was cool, but yeah.
And
Arnold Schwarzenegger still has the first gen Hummer.
So
then you had
did
the
Jeff Dunham.
Him, yeah. He,
I thought he had a Prius.
he had a tank too.
Yeah, he has a tank. He also has 2 Batmobiles that were actually used in the Batman movies.
Let's be honest here. They're all put to shame by one man.
Me?
No, Jay Leno. He's got 2 freaking hangars full of cars. He was showing off his Morgan on one episode, and he went, Morgan's built by a small company. He said, I'm almost ashamed to admit it, but their factory is actually smaller than my garage. That's a car company that makes cars and sells them, or their factory is smaller than his garage.
Okay.
What he did is he took all his money and he went, you know what I'm gonna do with this? I'm just gonna spend it on cars.
I really
Well,
like.
I mean, it,
Explain the joke that Gino made.
What joke? Actually, it wasn't a joke. I think he actually did. He like felt awkward. I don't think he actually meant it as a joke. I think he actually felt bad that his like he was like, oh my god, what's wrong with me? But I mean, like he said, I don't have a bunch of mistresses going around, or I just have, you know, a million cars.
Me and my calls.
well, that you, put
garage.
it, you buy vehicles so that certain people can't get the money.
Yeah, actually, I saw him talk about that. I know this is boring sometimes, but you know, he still does stand up, and he's done it the whole time he did the Tonight Show. So that Tonight Show, you know how much money they paid him to do the Tonight Show? All those millions. He never touched that. They lived off of his stand up, and then he stored away all his Tonight Show money. So the man still probably, even after all the cars and shit, still has millions because he's just so. I mean, like he said, he buys a car every once in a while, redoes it, pays his guys at his garage. He doesn't have a huge house. He doesn't have, you know, he doesn't spend all kinds of money on drugs, and he doesn't drink. He doesn't do drugs. He doesn't smoke. He has cars. That's his thing. He's not like old DiCaprio and has to get a new wife every 20-something years. You know, every time they hit 20-something. No.
Crap.
So, as far as celebrities, he's probably the least weird.
Which is definitely saying something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if I got money, I don't think coal is exactly what I would spend it on.
I know I wouldn't spend it on cars. I don't have a driver's license, so I wouldn't be able to drive them.
I feel like I would do old vintage like video game stuff probably.
Yeah.
Like I would try to get like all the old consoles. Even though I wouldn't play them, I would just have them to have them.
I would like tech stuff, like, and not necessarily just video games, but like I'm always interested in new and
Oh yeah, tech
and
definitely.
yeah, just mess with tech stuff and be like, ooh, what's this? Ooh, what's this? Actually, I'd buy a house in the middle of nowhere with the best internet I could get, and then
Which would be Frontier.
First thing I would do is get a nice house that had fucking fiber.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
like pay like a house, because if you want a lot of money, you know, people will come out of the woodwork, so you pay to have a longest fiber run down, just run out to you wherever you want.
That is
I'm away.
that is literally the first thing I would ever do in my life would be to get like nice house with fiber.
Well,
It's
if they don't
insane.
have fiber and you want to pay for it, will they actually run it to you? Like major companies?
Well, didn't
depending on where you are, I think that it's just depending on how like what they can give you. Like some companies probably can't reach you, but I'm sure if you have money, most companies will just give you whatever.
What
Or-
did?
or
Oh,
charge you
what's
out
his
the ass.
name?
Shibley had his house ran, if I
No.
remember right.
The dude, what's his no? What's the DJ that was racist? What was his name? The Canadian dude, Mouse, Dead Mouse.
Mouse?
He had. That's how I remember him now.
It's right.
Well, he said some stuff on stream that was crazy.
Let me look up the most racist.
But he had, I saw Linus Tech Tips went out to his
Yeah.
house, and he had some kind of antenna something put out there.
Yeah, he has a. It's the so it's Wi-Fi.
No, is it?
Yeah.
But it's like talking about how fast it was, and I was like, how's that fast?
Hold on.
Is that like comparatively fast? I don't understand. I wish I could remember I was coming into town for something.
I like that you cut off on my end, and at the same time, our dog barked. So it sounded like you just barked.
What?
I might have. You don't know.
Dark spirits torment.
You don't know what I
Oh,
look like.
so-
I could be a dog.
Ray, I don't mean pointing anything racist. I pulled up something where the British word for cigarette.
Oh, that was it.
Oh,
Because
That was
he was,
it, yeah.
he was streaming PUBG and he said he was referring to another player when he said fucking
Yeah.
cocksucking stream sniper cigarette.
Yeah, I mean,
Which
if you're, yeah,
I mean, it's one of those. It's a heated gamer moment, but it's not. It's not like he's like directly saying it to someone's face. It's more.
yeah, but when you're at that level, you can't
Oh, yeah.
just say shit like that.
Oh
You
yeah,
just
I'm
can't.
not defending it. I'm not saying he's like great person because of this. I'm just saying it's not like he's saying it to a person directly. But yeah, he should not be saying this. Yes.
I mean, especially if he knows they're freaking recording it or streaming it. It's like, dude. I mean, you shouldn't say it in general, but if you know you're actually doing it, it's like, where was your head at?
How's it PUBG that brings out all these clips?
Probably the idea that it's not a game anyone's gonna register in their mind.
Well, no. Like the
It's
PewDiePie.
better.
What
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember that,
The
but
bridge-
like again,
the
it feels like
bridge
one of those games where like, yeah, but it feels like one of those games that like, oh, no one cares. PUBG is dying, but like, nah, it's still relevant, and people make it relevant like this even more, ironically.
Just really like that's just PUBG's now been known as the game that costs.
Yeah.
But speaking about language and stuff like that, Ray, would you like to go ahead and bring some Southern delight into our podcast?
Hold on one second. Let me,
For some reason, I feel like you're gonna say "let me meow." I don't know why.
no. Let me get back to the house so I don't pass out.
There are all some people that'll that's their shtick. It's definitely Grimm's shtick.
Passing out or
Meow.
meowing?
Both.
Oh wait.
Oh.
Depends on how much I have to drink.
I said, let me get back to the house so I don't pass out. And then you said that's
You know,
something
I
that's their
didn't-
shtick. And I was like, do
I
you
didn't
mean
even think
they're like, that's their, like, what they like sexually? Or what are
I
you
didn't
talking
even-
about here?
I didn't even think about that was when Grim drinks too much, but yeah, actually.
No, that is another kink, but we're not gonna go
Don't
there.
put that orange in your mouth, remember? We had this discussion last time, Grim. Hold on. Get my bed.
I prefer the Dota.
Mm,
Man, that's a nice tree.
Okay. So, I read an article, somewhat, it's, Wander Wisdom? And it's a guide to Southern accents and saying, and I thought I would clip some highlights for you guys, especially, you know, like, 'cause- and some of you other guys probably don't live in the South, but, it talks about how freaking stroke in the middle of trying to say a word. But it talks about how Southerners say things like I and I, or what is
Iron.
it? Yeah, or just like, oh, like instead of I. So I would get you some of that. More like a sound instead of I sound. Ma instead of my. Get ma.
Ma.
That
Like
I know.
M-U-H.
Yeah. And like I have an eyelash in my eye. She's got I have an eyelash in my eye. Sounds like a freaking caveman saying it, but
You say you
Or-
almost did. I don't know.
the word gets done like get. Yeah, get. You know, get sounds like yet, but we say get. I can't even say it because I actually say it like that. Get. I can't
Get.
because I am Southern, so get. That's how you get is how I say it.
you get going now.
Yeah.
So
Or
what you
know
get?
where the? Do you know where the word ain't comes from?
I do.
Because some small, and I'm generalizing here because Trace can tell you this. Anybody else has lived in the South, there is variance on Southern accents.
Yeah.
Yes.
It does vary by region, but like the word
stronger
"can't" in
already.
some towns rhymes with paint. So can't,
Ain't getting
That's-
up.
yeah, and that is where the word "ain't" comes from. Can't and ain't. So there were some other ones I see. Let me scroll down here. So if you're gonna say eat, you would say eat, right? In the South, we'd say ate. Say grace before you ate.
You gonna eat that cornbread?
Don't eat that
You're
cornbread.
gonna eat that cornbread, yeah. Can't and can't. Dog is D-A-W-G.
Dog.
Yeah. This is one I've never heard, but apparently Diddy instead of Daddy, like Mama and Diddy.
That's
sounds like-
very southern.
Yeah,
That
that's
sounds
Like,
like
Diddy, like call my dad. Like, or,
That's-
like young kids say that.
I've only all I can ever think is Diddy Kong every time I see
Same.
Hey,
that. Oh. I forgot about this one. Fire.
Far.
Far. Daddy's driven the
Far.
fire truck. That reminded me of a guy that had a son that would switch those two front letters every time he saw a fire truck. So he'd have to make himself not laugh at his son going, "Here comes the tar fuck." What?
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 Yeah, that's how his son said it because he like switched the first two letters. Fellow guy, or fellow as in a guy, fella. How you doing, fella?
Fella.
Four. What? The way she spells some of this stuff. 1, 2, 3. Foa. Now I've heard that before actually. Get and get.
Or.
Now this is one I've used a lot. So if you were going to the market, you would say, "I'm going to the market," right? We'd say, I'm gone to the market," or going instead of going to. "I'm gonna get you." I even did that worse because "get" is turned into one
I'm
word.
gonna go to market.
Gonna. It's gonna.
This little piggy went to market.
Yeah. I've never heard this one. Like, and instead of like, it's LAC.
Like.
L-E-C.
A lack your pickup truck. Oh god, that's a different. That's like a variant on a southern accent.
Mm.
Mary is mer. I'm gonna marry you one day. Marry you one day.
I'm gonna marry.
Ireland.
It's like a
Oh,
Elvis.
here's
Yeah,
one
like
that-
Elvis.
Yeah, basically. Some of these are very
What do you
regional.
see?
Come on is come on. Like you say
Come on.
own instead of on. Yeah. I've never heard this one. I don't even know how to read that one, so I'm going to skip it. It says P is pay. So instead of saying P-E-A, you'd say P-A-Y. And it says, "Ate your oh, that's green. Now I can read that. Ate your green peas, sweetie." This is like
Ain't
a...
your green pea, sweetie.
Yeah, this is like an Australian wrote this and explained it to somebody from the South, is what I'm getting from this. Said, skull. Oh. What? I don't say C-S, how would you say S-C-O-L-E?
Go.
Well, how would you say
Skull.
S-C-H-O-O-L? Like school. You say school.
School.
School. Oh, see, yeah, I do say skull then, or school. I don't say that. I don't pronounce the H as hard as like Blake just did. School.
School or school.
Yeah, school. Swait. I've never heard that instead of sweet.
Oh, ain't that sweet?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
what is
God.
that? Oh, do you know what bless your? Oh, this is separate. Do you know what bless your heart means? Does
Yes.
anybody that's
Isn't
lived
it
in the
like
South
this-
long enough?
Isn't it like
Oh,
the
bless
opposite
your
meaning
heart.
of when you say it?
It's a backhanded compliment because you'd be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, look at Tommy over there swinging that stick of that hornet's nest. Bless his heart." That's what that means. That's kind of like
Yeah.
that kid's a freaking idiot. Southerners have a way of
little boy.
yeah. Basically, Southerners have a way of sometimes of saying stuff without like, saying it like it
Right.
seems nice, but
Very
it's not.
backhanded, yes.
Yeah. Or
Sarcastically?
if I was just picking at you, do you know what that would mean? Oh, I did at you. At you is at you, by the way.
Yeah.
So if I was just picking at you, do you know what that means?
Teasing you.
Messing with you.
Just having a
Teasing.
joke. Messing.
Teasing.
Yeah.
Yep. You know what pitch a fit is?
I'm playing.
throwing a tantrum.
Same
Yeah.
as chucking a wobbly.
Shucks.
There you go.
You know, by the way, Blake, I've heard that more ever since I've asked you about it.
Yeah, some of the stuff Blake has said I've heard at other places, and I'm like, I never noticed this before. So I like that she says now. We throw that word in anywhere. Hey now, run along now. Don't you get sassy with me.
Hey, now.
Yeah, now is a word that does come up quite a bit. So if you're gonna tell somebody to turn off the lights, how would you do it?
Hit the switch.
No, you'd say cut the light off. By the way, that works the other way. You can say cut the light on too.
I've never heard anyone say cut the light off.
Yes, I've heard it. I've heard it both ways at the same time. Cut the light off your name and cut it back on.
Shit,
that
I
like-
say that.
What am I
The
cutting?
movie theater or like the studios.
So if you were fixing something, what would you be doing?
Making.
Cooking?
Fix you up like a meal.
Fixin'.
Like, that's what I'm thinking.
Fixing.
Cooking.
No, there's no G at the end of that. It's not fixing. Fixing.
I know. I'm saying I can't say it because
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's getting ready to do something. Fixing to change the oil. Fixing to change a tire.
Hmm.
She's got tar. That's a very different.
Fix and change tire.
yeah,
fixing.
some of these are like
Dude
it's just,
starts fixing. Zap pointed that out.
there,
Yeah.
there are some that are like some of these are just like not.
Well, you know how they make fun of Good for well?
Mhm.
That well, and well all sound the same?
Mm-hmm.
I was born in North Carolina and lived most of my life in the South, but I say well all the same too. They're all the same word to me. They spelt different, but they all sound the same. And that's just an accent thing. That's why I never got that. There's some other things, like I learned how to do what you would call like what do they call that? A plantation style accent, which is like a rich Southern accent. And you say
Kentucky.
the cupboards are bare instead of the cupboards are bare. The cupboards are bare. You know, yeah, and that is literally like a rich upper crust Southern accent. Cupboards, and that actually comes from English, upper class English.
Yeah, that's it. That's English than South, but
Yeah, well, that's where it comes from. Is if you've heard it, like any plantation owners sound like that. They have that. It's a different type of accent. That's how my dentist sounds, by the way. She's about 4 foot tall and sounds like that, and I try not to laugh every time she talks. River is river. Go down to river. I don't know how power. Yeah, I do say power. This is almost, some of this is like Louisiana style too. Instead of future, it's future.
I say that's what I'm more getting is like Louisiana vibes.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of it, but that's.
Discord? Yeah, Discord just quiet. There's a waiting endpoint. Okay. Restarted.
Literature and stuff like that, because I guarantee he spoke with a Southern accent.
No, I couldn't kill.
Am I
The
back?
Great Gatsby, he spoke. The guy that wrote that, he spoke with a Southern accent. It's been a lot of great writers and poets come from the South.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that I'm justifying anything that the South's done. I'm just saying that we shouldn't just all like.
I don't know how. I'm gonna link you guys a YouTube
I feel
video
great.
in the Discord there. this I don't know how I stumbled onto this guy, but he's extremely good. He's the dialect coach for actors,
Mhm.
and watching him go through this particular series is really interesting. He's actually like a linguistics teacher, and he explains how the different sort of accents have evolved in up to where they are at the moment. It's really, really good.
Yeah, you talk about like the there was a show that talked about Southern accents in particular, and that's what I was talking about, like the antebellum. That's what the accent's called, antebellum kind of accent, the kind of upper crust. And they talked about how that literally came from upper crust English people that would settle here on plantations. That is a direct derivative of that accent. Which makes me think parts of Australian slang might be a direct derivative of Cockney slang, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely a little bit, not like as much as.
It's not as much as, like, in America, we don't have a lot of that rhyming slang kind of stuff. You know, that's just something that doesn't happen here.
Cockney rhyming slang is a big thing here. Like, down here, another one, I probably should save this for the next one, but things like food, there's a lot of Cockney rhyming slang around food. Like we don't call ketchup here, it's tomato sauce, which is a similar sort of thing, but and we eat a lot of meat pies and things like that, so usually you're going down to the shops to get yourself a dog's eye and some dead horse. Some dog's eye and dead horse. Meat pie and tomato sauce.
Oh my god. Oh, Blake. Just...
Well, at least you actually say both words. The problem with Cockney rhyming slang is they cut off one of the words. So instead of like I said, for apples and pears for stairs, they'd say I fell down the apples, and you'd be like, what the hell does that mean? You have to know that pears comes next to know it's stairs. Yeah, so there's that too. Yeah.
Just is holding my soul.
It's just accents, man. English is very convoluted and also very varied. It's like you can't, like, I mean, look at England. How small of a country is England? It's tiny, right?
Yeah.
It's teeny. They have so many different accents within that country.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you've got Southern English, just like, then you got Cockney for in London. There's other parts of London that have different accents.
There's like so many different London accents.
And then you got people from up north that's got like a whole different accent. Like Hagrid on Harry Potter, I think he's got like a northern English accent is what it sounds like to me. Right, like, kind of like up north near Scotland. Think about you're a wizard, Harry, that kind of stuff. That always, it always sounds like a farmer from up north. Yeah, it almost sounds like a farmer or a pirate. Those are very similar. They are in movies and stuff, aren't they? They're always similar.
Generalize.
You're a hairy wizard.
You're a hairy wizard. I'm gonna go crop my plots over here. Arr.
Crop my plots.
I realize you just repeated the dad joke, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I said you're a hairy wizard.
I'm just like I'm cropping the plot. This sounds like
You know what cropping your plot does?
Mm-hmm.
Neither do I. Because I flip the words. But yeah, that's an interesting thing about English language. I don't know if other languages do the same thing. We need somebody that speaks a different language. That is. So, can you tell where somebody's from by how they speak? Spanish?
Sometimes, especially with the slang, but
yeah.
For example, the major thing that everyone should know about Spanish is that there's two different, like when you hear someone speak Spanish and they pronounce any word with an S, you hear them say it with like a lisp. That's the thing. The thing is, where I'm from, we don't say it with lisp. And when I learned that, that completely blew my mind. Because when I passed by, my mom listened to Spanish TV. She actually had like watches people, and they say it with the lisp, and I'd never noticed that before.
So where is your family from?
I'm from Central America, specifically Nicaragua. There we didn't have this, which I didn't understand, but I know some people, for example, like my bosses are from Peru, and they have lisp. I think they don't say it though, but in Peru they know and they've experienced.
Does Mexico have the lisp?
I don't think so, because
Yeah, I don't think so.
in my Spanish class we never had the lisp. Like, but like the professor explicitly told that this is something separate and you don't have to learn how to do it, because honestly it does sound ridiculous.
Well, and I know this is a different language, but like there's French, there's Canadian French, and then there's Creole, and those all are technically French, but one probably barely could understand the other, could barely understand the other, just because of time, I guess, and the way they've changed words, you know, over time. So, yeah, I'm sure it happens the same as I heard Castilian Spanish is slightly different than like normal, like the rest of Spain, somehow.
Yeah, like I also they also taught us when we were learning about history stuff in Spanish class, how in Spain they have even regions within Spain. They have something like some of them that have accents with the Portuguese language, and then some of them with the French language, and you can definitely tell region-based how there's separations of accents as well.
Yeah.
It was also really interesting when like my sister visited Europe once. She went to Italy. She even got to like she told me like when she was like the little bit of Italian that she knew, but she got to perceive the differences in the accents, and she was surprised because in Italy, I think I don't completely remember where she went. God, I don't even know how long it was, but she was also surprised that the way they spoke was like she didn't expect it with the way that people also like. Sorry, I'm doing something else on another screen, playing another game. Yeah, you can ignore that though. But yeah, she was just surprised by the way the language was spoken there.
It's just varying accents and varying ways they say words, and yeah, it's just I guess it's the same for everything. I mean, it's
That's
just
my mind.
Oh, it's so much worse in some Asian countries as well, like China especially.
regional accents and regional
Regional accents and regional dialects. Like you could, like even in some of the writing in China, like the way one of the characters is written can mean something entirely different.
That's also
Like you misplace one little stroke of the pen, and you insulted someone's family and their
Well, it sounds like
ancestors.
a bad idea to write that way then.
yeah, it's just because China's so big, I think, that they're so varied.
And here's one I know from Japan. There's this, I think it's for Heaven and Hell. The character to write it is exactly the same except for the final stroke. One is up, one is down.
So coin flip.
Pretty much.
So, you know, you're talking about South America, and I always wonder about like Portugal.
Yeah, my dad actually
Have
knows
a
little
look
bit of
soon.
Because they're surrounded by, I think most of the countries around them speak Spanish.
In Portugal?
No, around the countries around them. Portugal, they speak Portuguese.
South America and Brazil.
South America.
Yeah,
I know,
Portuguese is the language.
I was just trying to connect his dots though. I thought you were trying to say
No. There's a country in South America that speaks Portuguese.
Brazil.
Brazil? Yeah.
But
like I said,
a few of those surrounding.
There's a couple, but most of South America speaks Spanish, right? That's yeah. So I always wonder how those countries, do they learn both languages, or do they just, I don't know.
That's also
Just
the same
always
with
curious.
Canada. Like in Canada, it's English and French, but they still have
Not everywhere in Canada.
Yeah, it's
but
a
they
very
still make you
regional
teach,
thing.
or like they still make you, I think, teach French in Canada.
Yeah.
In the schools.
I mean, because it would come in handy in a place that you could run. I think technically down here in the South, they could teach us some French and stuff, because you might run in Spanish should be the main thing, actually.
Spanish.
God's here.
Yeah.
Portugal and French.
Yeah, the Creoles are kind of going away.
I've never
so.
met a French. Well, okay, there's no like French people down in Florida, so.
Yeah.
But
I've
there is
met-
a lot of Spanish
I've met
people.
Creole people, but if I learned French, I don't know, like I said, that would help me that much if I knew French, from what I understand. So yeah, but Spanish would be the main one.
I mean, yeah, it just depends where you all. It's just some again. Really diverse songs have just basic dialogue. But you know who has no dialects right now? Space, because no one's up in space yet, baby. Except the robot. Robots are now.
Oh no, there's people
yeah,
in space. There's
yeah.
people in space.
The
That's
space
why they,
station.
I'm thinking moles. That's my space. Thinking
They
moles.
say
Above
there's the
100
International
kilometers.
Space Station still
What is it
has
called?
somebody in it.
The limit is like what, 100 kilometers.
No, to become an astronaut, yes, or to
be
be active.
considered in space.
Correct, yes. To get your gold wings.
So we just got to put you on a balloon, and you can be a.
Okay, when I'm thinking space right now, I'm thinking moles. Blake, tell us a little about what happened in moles.
Well, I mean, it's kind of been
mean-
everywhere in the news and everything. So, obviously, Perseverance, the rover, landed safely on Mars on the 18th of February.
2021.
7 minutes of hell.
And they're slowly starting to regather, or they're starting to get all of the pictures and everything that it's sending back, and that's just crazy. Like the amount of data that they're getting from this, and to be honest, I just want to know with all of you guys if there was anything in particular that you're interested in learning or interested in finding out from the actual mission itself.
What
I
I
can't-
heard, like, what'd you say, Blake? I mean, Alone?
No, go ahead.
So from what I sort of read into it, apparently its primary mission is to try to establish and test building like a structure and surviving a year on Mars, exactly with its weather, and like just to experience an actual settlement in Mars and see how it would go.
Well,
First thing.
Well, with this one, it has basically the drill that's go basically put it in like little cigar tubes and actually drop it off so it can be picked up by another rover at a later point here in the next probably 10 years and actually bring it back to here. That's the
Something
main
like
mission of that one. But they also got
2030, I think they're talking about.
yeah, they still haven't even planned a actual rover to go and pick it up and launch it back here. But there's a helicopter is what I'm actually excited about to see how that's going to perform.
Oh, the drone.
Yeah, the I can't think of the name of it off the top
I
of my
can't
head
think
now.
of the name either. But yeah, I mean, it's supposed to only get like 4 flights out of it, but I mean, it's still something. It'll be the first time something's flown like that on another planet. So.
First powered flight on another
Yeah, that
planet
too.
is the big thing with regards to that. But just the actual engineering behind that, I think, is absolutely amazing. Like, it's big steps for future missions to Mars, I think.
Mhm.
Being able to sort of do the things that they're planning on, I think it's looking like they're going to have a lot more of an idea of what it's actually going to be like to work and live on Mars.
Oh, definitely.
The other one-
especially, I was gonna say, especially because they have a little gold box that they're going to try to see if they can make oxygen with.
Yeah, Moxie. Moxie was the other big thing that I was really interested in. It's turning carbon dioxide into oxygen and carbon monoxide, which is crazy if they can actually do that. Or if it's efficient enough to be used as a future source of oxygen on Mars.
Mm-hmm. Convert it and be the way we would have to sustain life there.
Yeah, I think that's also falls into the realm of settlement, but I think exactly settlement that might be the main or goal.
Get in there!
For what they're doing. The primary thing that is the issue is like intruder. Come on, get over here. Nuclear radiation. We have the advantage. Or a bomb. I'm talking about like the sun, like the exposure.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have the atmosphere like we have.
The magnetic field. Either of those two helps a lot. So that's the kind of situation they're working on, basically. That's a big challenge. Because it's like you have given yourself a massive. It's kind of almost the same as like with the moon, let's say, but not really, because it's a planet with some like assembly made, let's say. But it's still also something that we also need to learn for even our moon, like not even having an atmosphere that is more dangerous.
Yeah, the 7-month time to travel there is exposing you to so much more radiation.
Oh yeah. Well, imagine if you had to go when it was even longer. I mean, if you had to do like an emergency mission to get over there, it'd be, you know, it could take a year and a half at its longest point.
So this one, it's not solar powered and stuff like the other ones, right?
No, it has a nuclear.
No. Yeah. The helicopter is solar powered, but the
Work with me.
rover itself has a nuclear generator on
So
the back of it.
it should be able to go a lot longer than the other ones then.
Yeah.
Well, I think I don't remember what estimates they have.
Yeah, I can't remember the estimate either.
That's still a year though.
No, it's going to go a good, I would say, probably a couple years. I mean, hell,
Yeah,
Curiosity's still going. And
Yeah,
that's
hearing
been there
that.
since, what, 12?
Really?
Was that solar or was that?
No, it had a nuclear battery on it. Or no, it wasn't 12. When was it? Yeah, maybe it was 12.
So I've just looked it up. The name of the helicopter is Ingenuity.
11. It's actually November 2011 for Curiosity. 10-year anniversary coming up.
The other big thing is where it's actually landed, like the crater where it's landed.
Oh, that was a
As
lake
well.
bed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like you
it's
can
still
actually,
a big crater, though.
yeah,
But yeah,
like
the,
you can
the
see
delta flow.
the delta flow and where the water, like the inlet where it basically came in. And obviously, the search for any form of life that may have lived on Mars, whether or not it's actually obvious
Organic or anything, yeah.
Large or small, organic or not. Maybe it could be alive still underground. You have to dig a lot. Like, there's more water on our planet underground than above. Well, that's what I've heard. Reasonable chance that there's life on Mars.
the other thing as well, having looked at some of the pictures that it's actually gathered so far.
Well,
You
did
know,
you
the
check out that
pictures.
360?
Yeah, the 360. Yes, I did.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I was actually watching the live stream today from it when they were breaking down the picture.
Have you seen the video of the actual touchdown?
I have.
Mm-hmm.
That was very cool to watch.
Yeah.
Like seeing the perspective of
The
the lander itself
the
as
sky
it
crane.
dropped down on the off the sky crane. Yeah, that was really, really cool.
Because I didn't. I think I knew this, but I forgot. But it actually sounds like ancient. But apparently, the old method was they literally just had balls like inflate,
Yeah,
and they filled it with air, and they just hoped it landed right. And I'm like, wow, that really does sound like a terrible way to do that.
I think
And
that
like,
way they lost.
yeah, they lost rovers that way.
Yeah. Because I mean, you're basically dropping it and hoping the balloons soften the blow.
Mm-hmm. And bounce.
Mm-hmm.
And land correctly. But no, the sky crane view cam was insane. Like one of the big things that they well, someone in the comments mentioned was that they can literally see the dust just moving away while it's still really high up in the air, and that really gives you the difference in the planetary size. That it's smaller and the atmosphere is weaker or thinner, let's say.
1% of the atmosphere on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making sure everyone's getting no opinions in. I
My
mean,
opinions and fascination.
personally, I really won't care about space like too much until it
You
gets to the
go.
point where those like spaceships, like sci-fi spaceships, we can fly them very well.
Sure, I've seen it.
Until
Getting
then,
civilians into space,
I don't care.
which I find ridiculous. Like, there have been like accidents where things have been prepared well, and like this stuff isn't perfect. Like it's like I'm not saying it's like not worth the risk or like they have no idea what they're doing, but I'm pretty sure going into space is just it'll be on someone's bucket list, not an actual commercial idea, which is why I don't think it should be an ad yet. It's kind of like your Mount Everest.
Oh yeah, like climbing Everest is another thing. It's ridiculously.
Well, I mean, you say that, but the way that they're progressing down there in Boca Chica right now, I mean, after all, they did a static fire yesterday, replaced an engine in the middle of the night, and relit it today. So that's something that last time, well, it was under 24 hours for that. That's never been happened. So, but yeah, they're just progressing so fast. So they said the next, Starship Mark 10 could fly as early as tomorrow through, I think, Sunday or Saturday. So. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just need to backtrack on something I was doing, and I forgot.
Well, space may be cool, but you know what's cool according to Ray?
Ice.
WandaVision.
I'd say it was
Yeah.
cooler.
I don't know.
I muted myself during the space talk because I had nothing to add.
Neither did I, but no. But time for a weekly recap when it comes to WandaVision. So, my boys, lay down your thoughts. Also, spoilers. So, if you haven't watched up to WandaVision, what episode is this?
7?
That's 7.
Yeah.
There's only 2 more left. I know that. One
So
tomorrow, and then
if you have not watched up to WandaVision episode 7, tune out for like 10 minutes.
So who the fuck is Agatha?
Agatha is.
it's her enemy in the comics. Oop.
Oh,
And then
okay.
it becomes her mentor, I think. I just
From
watered the
Asgard? I
museum.
think I remember hearing that in Thor.
I don't think so.
This is the first time I've heard it in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. She teaches Wanda in the comic book how to, she controls her at first. She's her enemy at first and tries to control her and do basically what she's doing here. And then she becomes somehow, I don't know, comic books are confusing. I'll be honest, sometimes.
Isn't she?
Especially when you get into Wanda where she can, mess with reality.
Isn't she supposed to be like the Doctor Strange, too? Is that what they're going off of too?
Agatha and Wanda? I don't know if Agatha's
Well,
going to be in
Agatha.
there. I know Wanda's going to be in there for sure. They announced that already. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be cool. I'm curious to see what happens. It looks like Remy, what's her last name? What's her name's daughter?
Oh,
Rambo.
Rambo, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like she might have developed some powers by forcing her way through the thing.
Yeah, that was an interesting little. Like,
So
I
I'm trying
mean,
to
I
figure out
know.
what she's gonna be.
Hmm.
Because like, what is? Is she just gonna be able to resist Wanda, and resist the whole thing affecting her brain? Because they talked about her DNA is already messed up. So when Wanda redid the thing, did she mess with her DNA even more? Or...
Well, you saw when she actually was looking around, she could see the magnetic fields around the power lines and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's probably some aspect of that may be part of her powers.
Yeah, it's just really interesting that it's all of a sudden it's like, oh, here these people, and it's like, what? It just
Well,
seems like it came out of nowhere.
I mean, they're tying into another line. She's gonna be in another movie, so
Yeah, I know. I'm just curious how they've only got 2 episodes to finish it, and how and where is it going to go from here? You know, where do you take it from here? That's what I find interesting.
Well, I mean, my sister started rewatching it or watching it finally, and so there was episodes. You know, I was just rewatching them. Now that I've picked up a little bit more things, like especially with if you look at the lineup of movies coming out, like Morpheus, they talk about like when they're sitting at the picnic thing for the when they're in the black and white doing the talent show.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, remember the devil? Yeah, she was talking about the devil a little bit there. So I think they're gonna go with that. They're bringing that in on this a little bit also.
I do like how they like hit like they did a little like rewind thing when Agatha came out and revealed that she was a witch too, or you know, it's been Agatha the whole time, and they flash back through all the things where she's been influencing the stuff. I kind of like that actually. I really like the way the show is shot.
Feels stronger
Like as
already.
just a visual thing, not even the storyline, just the way they switch and all that kind of stuff, and I just like how it's done. I think it's really good.
Well, the other thing that I kind of it sort of made sense to me after I saw the recap when Vision actually at the end of the previous episode where she was sitting out at the edge of the road, it makes a little bit more sense why she'd be there as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's not being controlled.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real interesting. It's kind of interesting. It's like, where is this going to go? How is this going to tie into Doctor Strange?
Oh, the other question as well. Where are the kids gone?
Yeah. That's my question is, did Agatha create those kids? Did they never really exist? You know?
And see, this is where I read on, that's another how they bring Morpheus in. So the kids have to be sacrificed to bring him in. So I have no clue. I mean, that's just what I read. I don't know. I didn't read it in the comic book, so I don't know that exactly his line. But
Matrix.
I wonder if they did get his name from the comic books.
Morbius? Yeah.
Morpheus from the Matrix. Do you think they got his name from the comic books?
No, Morbius is. Let me look it up.
It's definitely something I saw in like movie details about how the name Morpheus, Trinity, and Neo actually meant something. So I don't think.
I'm sure it meant something. I just never knew what it meant.
Yeah, I don't think.
Speaking of Matrix, isn't that one of those coming out for long?
Yes, I heard something about this, but I don't know exactly.
The second and third movie is. Oh, go ahead.
The name Morbius is most likely derived from the Latin word morbus, meaning sickness, mental illness.
Yeah, I think that makes sense because he was like the character with the pills and like the mental delusions. Like at the beginning, it was like, "Are you real?"
I think I'm Morpheus or Morbius.
It's Morpheus is his name.
But the ones with the Morbius with
Morbius, yes,
is a vampire or demon, I think.
Yes, he's a vampire.
That's it.
Michael Morbius. It's a biochemist.
I think Morpheus would be more about like change or something because of the morph thing.
Yes, but I was talking about the character Morbius,
Oh.
which is a mobile character.
No, I was thinking Morpheus for some reason.
Isn't Jared Leto supposed to be playing him?
Yes, in the movie.
Oh, and then you got
About 2020, but it's going to be pushed back to 2022.
Loki. That's another one coming out.
In June.
Yep. In May, the
How
Black
far
Widow
away
march.
is Falcon and the Winter Soldier? That's next
March.
month, isn't it?
That's
March,
next
yeah.
month. Yeah.
Actually, I think it's a month from today, ain't it? Or tomorrow, like 26th, if I remember right, or
I
something
think
like that.
so. I try not to look too close to that shit because that's how you get like spoilers before the damn thing even comes out. Sometimes.
I have not seen any of. I've seen one trailer and that's it.
But yeah, it looks interesting. I mean, it's basically going to be who's going to wield the shield is what I could get from it. Who's going to be the next Cap?
Who do you
Isn't
think?
it in the comics?
In the comic
isn't it
book, it's Bucky.
Yeah, wait, that was Falcon.
But I'm
They've
saying,
both taken the mantle, I think,
March
in the
19th.
comic books.
who do you think is going to get it in the end?
He gave it to the Falcon, and so technically, I would imagine he should get it. I mean,
So the way it's gonna go, Falcon gets it on the weekend, and Bucky gets it during the week.
No,
Okay.
Falcon gets it in the summer and Bucky gets it
well,
in
I
the
can
winter.
tell you in the Civil War series, Captain America gets shot and killed. Steve Rogers, not Captain America.
How does he get shot and killed? Isn't he supposed to be bulletproof?
Well, they arrested him because he revolted against the Superhero Registration Act.
Registry, Yeah.
Mhm.
He didn't he was against it, so they arrested him, and he gets shot on his way into the
They call Iron
courthouse.
Man still though.
Ah, jeez, yeah. I forgot how
By a
lame mobile
sniper.
is. I'm sorry, but
It's
just
why is
shoot
it
him?
lame?
To
Dude,
shoot
He
Captain
is
America like that to
he's
end
the
it?
most vulnerable Avenger, really, if you think about
Mhm.
it. He's a person. He's got super strength, but
Yeah.
he doesn't have like
Iron
healing
Man's
or anything like
fucking-
that.
Iron Man has no fucking anything at
Yeah,
all.
he's got
That's
billions of
amazing.
dollars in his
Avengers.
suit.
He's
Yeah,
got
but-
money.
He's got
basically
money,
the
that's his
Batman of
superpower,
the
yeah.
Marvel now.
Yeah,
the
but
Marvel world.
yeah, but he's literally like less able, like super abled than Captain America.
Or are
He
we
was on the
including
Fire registration?
are
They
we
just put
including
Captain
Hawkeye
America-
and
Oh no, I don't know that I count
I'd say the
Hawkeye.
big ones: the Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor,
Yeah, out of all those,
Spider-Man, maybe too. Just
generally
Like,
Iron Man is in a suit that's completely protecting him, so
Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
still
but he-
strong.
I don't. I
Well,
just feel
I
like
don't
he
think a
gets
bullet would
blown,
get
like,
Iron
he gets
Man.
like blown away more, and like his suit gets ripped up. I feel like he's just because he himself. I'm just talking about basic person. He himself is the weakest. Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, he has his suit. I just feel like he's like the weakest one. But I think it's just I don't know. It's just weird that.
Well,
like,
if we're
yeah,
honest, we could
put
just
a
say
bullet in
Hawkeye
Captain
is
America.
definitely the weakest one.
Okay, again, talking big boys at the table.
Um,
Hey, boys.
But yeah, Captain America, yeah, he's still a person. At the end of the day, he's not like Hulk or
Yeah,
the Thor
but,
that
like,
can take a bullet.
But he just gets fucking shot. It's so
He
lame.
gets shot by a sniper because he's disarmed and he's out in the public and
So he
people
got-
know who he is.
He got JFK.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
What's
Oh.
funny
Well,
is
not
you know who
really.
his
He
attorney
was on the
is.
steps, walking.
Yeah,
up
do you
to
know
the
who his
court.
attorney is? Do you remember that loan
Ooh,
for Captain America?
no.
She-Hulk.
Oh,
Yeah.
right,
Oh,
she's
yes.
a
I
lawyer.
remember.
She's
standing
a
right there in
lawyer,
the
yeah.
suit.
They're supposed to come out with a She-Hulk too.
Is this
Yeah, they just started filming it.
is this pre getting power or
No, she's like green.
Doesn't she
She's-
get power because of like a blood transfusion from Bruce?
I think so. I've never read into She-Hulk thing. The Hulk has been interesting, but I've never looked into She-Hulk stuff.
I don't think mobile itself is lame. I just think that's a really
Well, it
cop-out
was a big
event.
deal because I think it was the first time they killed off a main character like that.
Yeah, I know. I think
Actually, I've got that book.
he could have died in heroic ending, not being shot down.
I've got that comic book right after he died called Captain America Remember Framed over here. Just look over there at it. Because it's one of my favorites. I mean, eventually they do bring a compilated way to bring him back,
Yeah.
but
Wasn't it like in the sixth one?
Anyone can come
something like
back.
that. A clone comes back, and it was actually the Red Skull. And but you have to, when you think comic books, you have to just suspend disbelief. That's what you have to do. Is you have to go,
Yeah.
okay,
You gotta
these
enjoy,
universes will never die.
You gotta enjoy the way they tell the story rather than the conclusion.
Why I stopped
Like-
in comic books, I guess, is well, certain comics. It's because some comics are just like like they're just like, kept alive forever. Like that's what I like stories that have a clear beginning and end.
Let's go.
I don't like ones that kept on getting like barely kept alive by like a needle in the arm and just like keep on going and just like hop the way to keep on existing.
I've always
Like
liked
it-
Cat because he had the thing of my reason for liking it is not anything to do with his powers or anything. It's been his way of he has always been who he is, no matter if it cost him or not. He is, like I said, when he went against the Superhero Registration Act, that was part of his character. You know, that was just I'm going to do what I think is right, regardless if everybody else stands against me. You know, and it's kind of nice in that kind of way.
Message.
Where Tony started saying, they're like, here's where Marvel fell down for me. They didn't get into Tony Stark's alcoholism enough for me. Because I think that could have done some good.
You didn't really see that much of bad Tony besides him being like a playboy in the movies.
Yeah, but in the comic books, he's got alcoholism. He's always fighting it, and it's really interesting storyline.
That's the main reason Robert Downey Jr. likes the character.
I think here's my thing about like comic book characters is I don't really like him so much for the character. I like him because of the powers.
And I'm flip side of that.
I feel like all the Avengers kind of have. I mean, Hulk's cool, but I think Hulk is just kind of eh.
Awesome,
but that's why I think I like DC. So I think DC has more interesting superpowers.
Yeah.
And see, I like DC for the characters too. Batman, Superman, all that. I do like them for.
Really cool.
Yeah, Batman's is
like
really good.
For that.
Okay,
There's a few other ones that are good.
Okay,
too.
well, Batman's just Batman. I think the movies helped me feel my love.
Well, no, that's all, as far as comic with his backstory and why he is who he is, that's interesting.
There is only one Marvel character that stands out to me, like being super cool. I know Ray can immediately guess who it is, but there is one really cool Marvel superhero I like.
Deadpool or Wolverine?
Deadpool.
Okay.
Yeah. Just Deadpool.
I kind of like both of those actually, and I like in the comic books they have a joking kind of competition.
He's just like a shit like meta character, but he's like an almost invulnerable.
Yeah.
Super.
Well, that's why there's a joking competition between him and Wolverine, is because they both have that similar.
I think he's more invulnerable than Wolverine, because at least in the Deadpool game, he gets decapitated.
Yeah.
And he's like,
he's still alive.
Over here, you mindless body.
Yeah, I love the Deadpool game. I do like I said, one of my favorite Marvel movies ever made has been Logan. And that's not even in the MCU at all, but it's just a really good movie. And I appreciate that movie as a movie, let alone... Yeah.
See, I like Wolverine, I just don't like super enjoy him. But I do like the movies that...
There's been some weird slip-ups with Wolverine where it's like, really?
He's always just been like, okay. Like, he seems pretty cool, but just
I like his personality. I like the fuck you personality.
Punch.
Yeah.
Just fuck everybody. I don't give a shit. And I'm like, I love this. This is fantastic. I kind of like it in the same way I like Captain America. I care about everybody. He's like the opposite, and I love it for some reason.
You should like people that stick to their values.
Yeah.
Even if that can be completely an asshole, completely righteous.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. I can't put a finger on why I like comic books and comic book characters. I mean, but I do. I mean, I just, like I said, I like a lot of the story. I think the main thing I like is the, hey, why is he like this? Oh, that's cool, you know. Oh, or like when you find out, oh, his parents died, or, you know, stuff like this is why he is who he is. I think that's...
Actually, sorry, there's another good superhero I like in Marvel. Spider-Man.
I have a fake
See, that's another one's got a really good backstory.
I think I do like Spider-Man because his backstory, and he's like a teenager figuring out the world. I will say,
and then he goes through a loss and all that kind of stuff. It all, you know.
Also, I think Spider-Man has the best villains in general. I think, for whatever reason, they just give them all the cool, goofy ones.
You know why? That was because it was Kirby and what's his name?
Kirby?
No. Jack Kirby and I'm trying to remember his name, Excelsior and all that.
Stanley,
thank you.
How dare you?
I know. I knew it, I just couldn't say it.
I was waiting. I can't believe Ray can't remember.
I almost got a painting of him the other day. Because I like what he's done so much. But that was a really good group on Spider-Man.
Yeah,
that's why it was just a really good group.
Yeah, they have.
I think old Captain America, like original Captain America, is really good writing. If you ever, and
Did
good luck
you-
finding it, because
did
it's
you like,
almost impossible to find the originals because they were made on like newspaper, so most of them fell apart. Because
What
they were
about
written
when,
and done in the 40s.
McFarlane took, or Todd McFarlane? What about when he took over Spider-Man?
I mean, that was good, but it was not the same. It's so hard to compete with the original because the original, no matter what you do, as much as I love comic books and I like when they come with new creative ways to change it and redo it, and I love that for just the creativity of it, you're never going to beat the original. I don't, you know.
Has anyone seen the new name for the new Spider-Man movie?
No, wait,
there was
hold on.
like a meme about that.
Yes,
He
I was getting
isn't
it.
phone home or something like that.
No,
Oh.
no. It is Spider-Man No Way Home.
No Way Home, yeah.
You were close.
So basically, what the joke they did with the marketing is they had all the three like big cast, well, like main cast of Spider-Man. So Tom Holland, Zendaya, then I can't remember what his friend's name. Well, I can't remember the character's name, but you know.
The guy's name, the actor's name is
I like him.
something.
I can't remember him though.
Starts with a J. Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob. That sounds close. I can't remember his name, but all three of them was given fake names of Spider-Man movies. So like, oh yeah, here's the new Spider-Man movie as like the joke, because as Tom has leaked, accidentally leaked like stuff about all the other Spider-Man movies.
I mean, talk about on in-game, I think.
Everything.
Yeah, on in-game, they had to have Benedict Cumberbatch like be his babysitter.
So
Don't say anything.
So basically, what happened is they did this as like their marketing play for the movie. So they released the Instagram video. Well, they had Tom walking out of the office, and the other two were waiting for him. They're like, yeah. So did you get the name of the movie? He's like, no, they won't tell me because they just don't trust me. And so as they're walking by after he said that, there's like a whiteboard, and they have like an idea list of names, and it's all like jokey ones. It's all dealing with the word home. But the big one, like in the middle, that was like so cool, was Spider-Man No Way Home. So that is the third Spider-Man movie in that with Tom Holland.
Have
It's
you
the
heard
Post
that they
post
gave him a fake speech up until the very end? I mean, a fake script on in-game
yeah,
because he was not allowed to know.
yes, because he's a notorious accidental leaker because he can't keep his mouth.
I imagined him and what's his name that played the Hulk?
Buffalo.
Ruffalo. He's a bad one for.
Oh yeah.
He streamed like on the premiere of like Ragnarok. He streamed like what the first 30 minutes of the movie on accident because he left his phone on.
Yeah, but I'm excited for that because okay, has anyone not seen Far From Home?
I have.
Okay, I just want to make sure no one has not seen it. And,
I have not seen it.
okay, do you care about spoilers or?
For Spider-Man only, actually. Everything else I don't care about.
Can
so...
you mute for like?
Definitely.
Yeah, just tell me when not to.
Yeah, mute. Yeah. Okay. So the end. So by the way, spoilers for the last Spider-Man movie, Far From Home. Anyone watching? So the of course, this is a follow-up movie compared to when he got his identity leaked, when he got blasted by Mysterio, who recorded and edited a video. Did he die or did he just like? I can't remember. I can't remember, but when he was defeated, put it that way, because I can't remember if he died or if he's just in jail. But he basically made it look like Spider-Man did all the terrorist acts. So now he's being labeled as a terrorist by Jonathan. So
I think he did die.
Yeah, I think he did too. I'm here trying to run back to the movie.
I think it
we're
would
watching
make
this
sense.
movie this weekend.
It would make sense because it would make him, make him seem like bad guy.
I think he
Yeah, 'cause
accidentally killed himself with the
Right,
drones.
Yes, he did it just to make Spider-Man look like he did it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I think it is no matter what. It's made because that's why he's being labeled as a terrorist. He killed a guy who was white because he was a CEO or whatever. But yeah, this is the follow-up movie from that, and I'm really excited what they do. I don't know if you guys have heard about the stuff of the two previous Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire coming back.
Yeah, that's
apparently
going to
they're
be.
I
I
vote.
heard that it's not for this movie; it's for the Universal
Yeah.
Madness movie.
I
the
voted.
documentary.
I voted for that, and I've also heard someone talk about it that could be for this movie as well. I've heard
I'm
some.
gonna guess if it's for this movie, it's gonna be an end credit scene.
Yeah,
they
I've
cut-
I've
yeah.
heard multiple things, but I know it's happening. I just can't remember which one it's
Yeah,
going
because
to
they're
be.
gonna talk about how the universes tie and all that. And it's not just gonna be Spider-Man; it's gonna be all these different universes tying.
Right, exactly. But I'm saying I'm very excited for both the aspect of the possible whenever it's for Doctor Strange or for this as well, whatever will happening. But for that
Yeah.
to happen, and plus his identity being linked, and seeing how Tom Spider-Man can deal with
So-
that.
They kind of touched on the Universe of Madness and the different storylines. If you remember in Endgame, I don't know if you saw Endgame, where the Hulk goes to get one of the gems in the past or whatever,
Right.
and she tells him about the different lines and how they split and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's how they're going to do the universe, the multi-line thing.
Yeah. I expect. I mean, I know Doctor Strange is going to be the catalyst for it, obviously. I just don't know how far they're going to go with it.
Tilda Swinton has one of the best lines in that movie when he shows up and he's like, "I'm looking for Doctor Strange," and she's like, "You're about 2 years too early." And it's like, damn, she already knew. That means that she knew that he was coming and that she was going to die. She already knew all of that.
Yeah. She again. I don't think she wants to change fate. She already knows what her fate is.
Yeah, it's just cool. It just shows how much power she held back that whole time.
Yep. But I'm gonna go ahead and unmute too. But I can't wait for the movie because
Yeah,
of what
I'm looking forward to all of it. I think it's. I heard them talking about. Well, you can unmute them because I'm not gonna say any spoilers. But I heard on another podcast they were talking about it. The reason I like this, and I kind of like that we've had a Marvel break for almost a year, because the Spider-Man movie is the last one. It came out in July 2019.
lends me strength.
So we've had a movie
well-
break for almost a year.
Aren't we in line to get like Marvel every weekend now?
Yeah, something like they had a.
Oh, the
big
shows and stuff, but like the movies won't. They're dribbling out the movies.
Yeah,
right?
movies will come out every few months. They're not gonna.
But
there's
what
no
I'm talking
way
about is
they won't
that
pay.
it was kind of nice after Endgame. Like that's a boom. That's the end of a chapter, or end of a book, right, in a series. And now they're taking this with like WandaVision and all the Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man, the multiverse, and all this stuff. Well, and even Far From Home was kind of a ending. It was like a prologue to the end game, to a certain extent. It was a epilogue, sorry, not a prologue. But I like that it's kind of going, okay, now we're just starting back over. We were starting again, and this is a whole new set of superheroes that are coming out. They're changing stuff. They're doing. It's just really good. I think it's a really good change for them. I hate losing Iron Man, but sorry if I just ruined Endgame for you. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Vision's not the only one that dies. But yeah.
You know,
He's
you
not
could have left it
it's
there
not-
because it could have been interpreted as he just quit. But
Retired.
yeah,
Retired. Yeah. No, I'm just gonna say he died.
no.
It's kind of. I just thought about how that's Vision is technically Tony Stark's creation too. It's
Yeah.
kind of fitting that they both kind of die in not in the same movie. Vision died in the first one, and then Tony died in the second one. So.
I mean, that's kind of tied into the end of the last episode of WandaVision as well,
Yeah.
because you saw the discussion about him being the
The
can't think of
weapon,
the
because he's like a silicone weapon or whatever they know what they call him. Ooh, I gotta take one of these too, somebody.
All right.
I have a game question I'd like to interrupt with. Sorry.
3.
2. Where's Jody? Who's Jody? Which one is that?
I don't know.
Hit
Okay.
escape. Hit escape.
Yeah, it's
Go to social.
Okay. I don't know if I've talked to her. Nope.
I didn't really mean for the last topic to be the last topic. It's not a good one to end on, but
I think it's a great one to end on.
we're not done yet.
Oh. I don't think it's a good one to end on. I was just gonna leave. I'm out. Bye.
No, the last one is what just happened. Lady Gaga's
Oh.
dog walk.
Oh, well, that's a
What
hell of a
happened?
topic to end on.
What
Yeah.
happened?
So go ahead, Ray.
This wasn't my idea. I'm not saying this.
Okay, who would like it to?
I don't know
Talk about
enough to say about it. I was the one who suggested it, but I don't know any new details. If any new details have come
I
out.
don't even know what this is.
Blake Plum.
It's fucked up.
I have no idea.
Okay, let me
Lady
tell you what I
Gaga's
know at
dog
least.
walker was shot and her dog was stolen.
Dog.
Oh, what?
Kidnapped.
Two
Doggy
dogs.
napped? Doggy
Lone,
nap?
Dog naps.
Lone, go ahead.
No, that's what I was gonna say. That's the only thing I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
say it
She have a
again.
reward for like 500,000 out.
Yeah, 500,000, no question asked to get her dog back.
If I had the money, I'd do it.
The police are telling her that she can't do it.
But yeah, the police would definitely would be like, well, hold on, don't create war in the street.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not saying I'm not against it on the record, but
Well, it's more for the fact that the reason she can't do that is someone was shot and all she cares about is getting her dogs back.
well, she's well, one, it's whole dog, so she's very emotional, connected to her dogs. Yes. Two, every single article I've looked at, well, not article, but like tweet about it, literally not a single person has mentioned the dog walker.
Oh,
The poor dog walker. I've literally heard no one be like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry." I don't even know if he's dead or not.
He's
If
not
I were
dead.
him, yeah,
Good.
if I were him, I'd be expecting to be looked over at because come on.
What I would expect
I
Lady
would
Gaga to pay for my surgery.
I mean,
Yeah, I would be upset
Sure
if
she
you
did.
didn't do
I'm
that.
sure she is. Like, I'm literally sure she is because he's probably employed by her in some regard. But I'm not saying I support it on paper, but I wouldn't be mad if the people that stole dogs ended up dead, because I think it's a shitty thing to do. Just saying it.
well, I mean, they shot the dude, so I mean,
I think
they got it
Yeah,
coming.
well, one, shooting the guy. Yeah, I think they. Well, obviously different jail time, but I wouldn't be mad if they died. But also for taking anyone's dog, just not because it's Lady Gaga, but if they take anyone's dog, I would be upset if anyone took my dog. So
Mhm.
I think they deserve a lot more than what they're probably gonna get if they ever get caught. So, but yeah, no, I feel really bad for the dog walker, which is actually a job I've thought about doing. Because there was a few back in my hometown, because it's a touristy town, but there's a lot of I don't say there's a lot of rich people, but there's a lot of like retirees and stuff.
Mm.
So like dog walking is very profitable because a lot of them have small dogs or like toy dogs and whatnot, and so just taking care of them and walking can pay for
Let's
a lot.
go.
So I was thinking about doing that. So I definitely empathize with the dog walker.
Well, apparently, walking dogs is as dangerous as working in a bank or something.
Now,
No.
my question is,
I mean-
did the people who did this, did they know it's
We
her
don't-
dogs?
Yeah,
So I'm just go speculation.
Well,
Like I don't know if they know, and that's why they did
depending
this,
on where
because,
she lives in Hollywood, there's probably a decent chance that
Let the
It's
sail
the
out.
main thing as well.
That's
it's
why
somebody with money's
that's why,
dogs.
that's what I was gonna get to in the end. Did they just do this in general, just to try to get?
I did see
Someone?
some said that the type of dog has been stolen recently from other places.
Well, some dogs
So-
get stolen just for their breed too.
Yeah, that's the type of breed it is.
I think there were 2 bulldogs.
Yeah,
The French bulldogs and English and French bulldogs are very expensive because, like, as far as I understand, they can't have natural birth, and it's like a whole thing because they're like they've been bred so much that they're not right. So
Well, they're all goofy.
Yeah.
A lot of misreading.
I had one of the girls I work with had an English bulldog, and the worst part of all that is their lifespan's not that long either.
Yeah,
Compared.
they're very fatty.
Inbred.
Very, very, yeah. A lot of genetics are not good for the English bulldog. French bulldogs, I think, are a little better, but English ones are notoriously very bad health.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for those dogs because obviously they don't deserve it for being born, but My dad
Continue later.
but we're not allowed any big-ish dogs, which I've talked to my parents
Lower
about.
them off.
But yeah,
Yeah, my dog's a big old pit bull, and he's the nicest dog I ever had.
Snores very loud.
I want a German Shepherd. That's my ideal breed.
One of my cousins has a solid white German Shepherd, and he is the biggest goober you could ever meet.
I just love the like coat and
Yeah.
like the head shape with like big eels. It looks so adorable, but they're also big, and I can like roughhouse with them and take them on walks. That's what I
That's the
want.
thing I love about my dog is having the short hair. So the best thing about him is that well, not the best thing,
Well,
but
short
one of the
hair-
good things about him is even when he sheds, it's not like everywhere.
I'll say
like,
short-haired
visible.
dogs actually shed more than long-haired dogs.
Yeah, but like my floors are all brown, he's brown, you know.
Oh well, I mean, yeah. But like my long,
It's
Carpet
there, but yeah.
let's say
Carpet
my long,
matches drapes. What you're saying.
oh, my long hair does not shed at all. Which is very
I could tell you that the solid white German Shepherd does shed.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. Like
yeah.
little puffs of him in the corners every once in a while.
I think I shed more than my dog. That's how much leg hair I have.
My short hair, he doesn't shed that much. He's I don't know if this is like normal for pits or if he's a weirdo. He doesn't have much fur on his stomach either. Like his whole belly and underside is almost bare.
See, most dogs don't have a lot of fur down, like in their stomach.
Well, most long-haired dogs usually have, like I'm used to having long-haired dogs. Even, I had Boston Terriers for many years, and they have some fur. But like, you could like literally see like my dog's belly button just there.
My
It's
dog
just like weird.
What was your dog's belly button like in retrospect of?
Like what you would consider his belly, I guess.
I'd say I've
Yeah.
never seen my dog's belly buttons.
Yeah, he must have had a weird thing when he was born or something, but he's got a belly button.
Well,
So,
my dog is and she has hair on her chest, but in her stomach, just no hair at all. And it's just like I've had that with both my dogs.
He just gets real cold easy too, because I don't think his fur does much for him as far as.
Let's say, how does your pit take a cold?
He'll go out in it, but he's not good. Like when it snowed here last year, he went out, he did what he had to do, kind of looked at the snow, and he came right back in. He's like, this is nice. I'm out of here. My feet are cold. So I've got a jacket for him. I mean, I've got a sweater that he'll wear periodically if he has to go out if we're out walking for a long time.
I would say my
I'll throw a
mom's
sweater on.
been putting on sweaters for my dog when it gets cold here,
Yeah.
which is great because obviously hoping a little Chihuahua, and it looks like she's being pampered, but we don't really put too much on her. Like my mom will only do it for like when we do like holiday photos and stuff. Like she has like a little Santa outfit or stuff like that. But mainly the sweater was just getting put on just to make sure she's just retaining heat. But yeah, I really want a big dog in the future when I get my own place. I even asked my dad. He's like, we would be down for you to get another dog. The problem is, one, my dog doesn't like any other dogs. But I think she would be okay if we got another one because we had a dog before her, and she kind of was okay with that one, even though the other one was older and kind of put her in her place. When my current dog got snippety and stuff like that. But number two is because we have our lease says only one dog at a time.
Yeah.
You can't have two.
And then
That's the biggest
Can't raise
issue.
the sail
one
yet.
thing I've done with my dog is socialize him quite a bit. I take him to dog parks. I take him to my parents' house and they have dogs. I take him everywhere. I mean, we went to the dog park and there was a freaking Great Dane there, a female Great Dane. She loved my dog, and
I
he
bet.
didn't know how to react because she kept she was taller than him, right? And he's not he's not 60 pounds, so he's a big dog, but he's not like gigantic, right? This Great Dane was a good 6 inches or more taller than him, right? At shoulder level. And she kept putting her paw, and it was a leash-free dog park, so she kept running up to him, and she'd kind of slap him with that big-ass paw, and he would just take off running, leave me alone. And then she'd chase him, and then after he did that for a while, he started coming up to me. He'd give me that look like, okay, it's time to go. It's time to go now. It's time to go. And eventually I left, and he was so happy because he was like, I think she was young, and he's about 6 years old now. So I think he's getting that age where he's like, you know, I'm just chill. Yeah. I'll play with you a little bit, but when I'm done, I'm done.
I really tried to socialize my dogs, but they were just both not wanting to interact with other dogs. Other than the one they're living with. Like my first one was a Chihuahua. She was like a weird mix because we never exactly found out what she was, but we know she was like a Chihuahua Dachshund, and I always thought she had a little terrier in there somewhere. But she loved people, but she didn't like other dogs. And my dog just doesn't like this golden Chihuahua. Just doesn't like any dogs or people at all.
Well,
So
I've always thought that small dogs can be a little more aggressive because they're allowed to get away with more. Like you can't. In no way do I let my dog show any aggression at all.
It's not really
Period.
they get allowed to do certain things. Most small dogs have a small man complex, basically, where they think they are bigger than they are. While bigger dogs tend to just know that, but are more willing to like cooperate. It's not small dogs are like entitled to things; they just think they are huge when they're not. It's a small, like the Napoleon complex,
I
basically.
wonder if somebody's done a study on that, because I have a feeling that small dogs do get away with more. Period.
Oh,
Just because of...
yeah. I mean, if you wanna get like to the basics, yeah, they probably do get away with more on paper because they are like most toy breeds are like put on a pedestal.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's like
Well, and you can't
all of them have like this innate like.
Well,
you know.
just put this mental thing in your head. A small dog bites you, you're probably going to end up with maybe stitches. Maybe, you know? My dog bites you on your hand, he could break your hand. He could make you have major surgery. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's the difference, I think, and that's what subconsciously people think. I'm not saying I try to make sure that I'm like, that's how with him, I got all up in when he was young and I first got him. He'd be eating, I'd be sticking my hands in his face, I'd be messing with him as he was young, and anytime he'd snap at me, I'd discipline him. But I got him to where I can screw with him, I can do anything I want with him. I pick him up like a big baby, he doesn't care, because I got him used to being, you know, being basically annoyed without any aggression. And I do that with all my dogs. That's just something I do if I get them.
That comes down to handle and I mean, that's not, again, I don't think any dog is really
no, but
bad.
Food aggression is something that dogs can do if you're not very careful.
Right. Again, that comes down to training. Again, most of the things that dogs have done bad has been people. It's always
Tell me about it. I have a pit bull. You want to talk about people walking to the other side of the road when you walk by with them?
Oh yeah.
Being absolutely terrified of them.
That sounds like a good thing.
I've known as a dog owner, someone who I've loaned like.
There's whole countries that I couldn't take him in, like England. I think you can't have pit bulls in England. There's states, there's cities, there's apartment complex, and it's because of the concept. Yeah, perceive.
Well, also I think there's a small fault because there was a lot of like dog fighting.
Oh yeah, they're a breed loved by dog fighters.
They're all like some state, like some areas just probably want to, because they've had dog fighting and stuff like that and went to discourage us. That's why they take away.
But I don't think we should punish the dog. You know.
Yeah, well, I don't agree. I'm just saying I think that's what is going on. But yeah, I like pit bulls. I think pit bulls are awesome. But I know what most of these people are thinking.
Do you know what's funny? You know what I've always heard is the most aggressive dog breed? And it's not pit bulls.
Shepherds.
Yep.
Really?
Yes, because they have a way, like, they have a way of being very quiet in a sinister way. And the reason I say that is I was running one day, and I was jogging through the neighborhood, and this is years ago when I lived in Mississippi. And I'm jogging. I didn't have headphones in, thank God. But I hear this click, 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 and I'm like, "The fuck is this noise I'm hearing? It's not my feet." I turn and look over my shoulder, and there's the biggest freaking German Shepherd I've ever seen. And he's got a look on his face of, "I'm not a friendly guy. of hey, look, pray. That's what it says, right? Because I guess he saw me running. I don't know. He was growling and his drool was coming out, and it was like aggression, right? So as I'm running, I slow down at a point when I know there's some woods, and I grab a big stick and I turn around and I start yelling and slamming it on the ground. And he starts to growl and come right at me, but I start yelling, swinging that stick around. He backs off and leaves. But like, that was the most terrifying thing I've ever had with the dog. Except the other dog that tried to chase me out of the yard, which happened to be a shepherd too. I was breaking into their yard, but that was a different thing.
Okay,
That
well,
was a different thing.
What you explained wasn't a breed thing. I'm pretty sure that was rabies.
No, he wasn't rabies. I could tell by he wasn't acting like a crazy. It wasn't like that. It was he. Some dogs are just aggressive. It doesn't matter what their breed is.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't.
He just had a weird. I'm not saying all Germans are that way, but he just had a weird thing, and that
Whoa.
silent, dead silent.
Shepherds.
Shepherds. Oh, shepherds. German shepherds is what I meant. But yeah, it just was a weird thing with him. The complete silence was creepy as hell. No growling, no barking, just running after me. It was terrifying.
So now I'm going to say something that's probably one of the only cat people in here. You know there's actually also cats that are illegal in states?
Like a Maine
Yes,
Coon?
the only cat person.
Okay, not the only, one of the only ones that know of a lot of breeds. Do you know of the breed I'm talking about?
I don't even know what breeds we have.
Okay, the Savannah.
One's orange, one's black.
So they're probably just tabbies. Tabbies just a mix. But a Savannah is a cat that is house cat bred with an African wildcat.
I think I've heard of those.
Oh yeah, those are the bigger cats with the pointed ears.
Yes,
Yeah,
and-
they're almost like semi-wild.
yeah, they're the ones that you have to live in. That basically, you have to treat them like a dog. You have to give them walks. You have to play fetch with them.
Yeah, there was a woman that had a big wheel that she would let her. She had a cat like that, and
Yeah.
she would let run on it, and that fucking cat would get to run like a goddamn cheetah on that thing.
Yeah,
It was like
that's
this giant wheel on
what
casters.
you realize about cats. The normal house cat can run faster than the fastest human. Of course, only for about 30 seconds, but the average house cat can run 40 miles an hour.
I would know.
Yeah, they do that at 3 o'clock in the morning. I know.
Yeah, they
You've
do.
seen Belville's Tabby the cat. I have to see this now.
You sing cat?
He's saying cat.
Cats can run up to 40 miles per hour.
Yeah, I
can't
can
really
believe it. They've got like the certain, especially certain ones of them got the. I mean, I don't see like a 16-pound indoor fat cat running 40 miles an hour. I'm sorry, but
Heavy, I'm sorry to tell you. For a cat,
Well,
that's not that bad.
let's say that it's like a small frame cat that's very fat. Let's say that.
Yeah, okay, that's true. But, yeah, like my cat, he's perfectly healthy, but he weighs 18 pounds.
Chunky
Big
monkey.
boy.
Sound happy.
Yeah, some breeds are like that. Is it
Submarines?
who? No.
Submarines.
There's some kind of cat that has 6 toes, and they're descendants of a poet's cat or a writer's cat, and I can't remember what it's called.
Not-
Hemingway's cats. Hemingway breed.
Schrodinger's.
No, it's Hemingway. He had a cat that had 6 toes, and all his descendants have it.
Run up the stairs.
Yep, I've had ones with 6
Wow.
toes.
How's that? Like,
It's a birth defect, and like people seek it out
yeah.
for that breed.
There's also people that think that all cats have 6 toes because they technically have 6 claws. 6
Yeah.
claws do not mean they have 6 toes. The one that's way down on the paw is called a dew claw. It's not.
Oh yeah, dew claws. Yeah, dogs have dew claws.
Do dogs ever use their dew claws?
No.
No,
I didn't
but
think so. That's like a leftover
They-
from when they were wild, I guess.
Okay, the worst thing I had to do while being working with the puppies is I hate trimming nails.
Oh,
It's so like nervous. Like I get so nervous and sweaty.
Especially if they have dark
Oh,
nails.
man.
Oh my god.
It's I can't do it
Ow,
for my
ow,
dog.
owie,
Like,
owie. Sorry.
it's just like it's so nerve wracking.
Getting my ass kicked.
Well, it's clipping your nails.
Yeah, like
Oh shit!
we had labs, so labs and goldens, like the yellow labs and golden retrievers.
Mhm.
Totally fine.
Bring
It's
them
not
ass
too bad.
down.
Some of them can be deceptive. But for Black Labs, oh my god, it was awful.
Yeah, dark nails are the worst because you can't tell where the quick's at.
Yep.
Yeah. Luckily, he's got some darker nails, but one thing I found where I live now, he's got a bunch of concrete. Like I've got a concrete patio and driveway and stuff. And my vet told me, he said he'll probably mostly take care of his own nails, and he does. I don't have to trim him that much because running on the concrete, he kind of grinds them down himself. I have to give him a little bit of a trim occasionally, but most of the time.
It's one of the things I wish my parents did more was trimming my dog's nails and getting a whole teeth brush.
Yeah, brushing a dog's teeth is so
I must
hard.
be careful.
It's also hard for a cat because their mouth is even smaller. And guess what the toothbrush is?
Your finger?
Your
Yeah,
finger.
a little weird thing you put over your finger that's
Yeah, so that's what I use on my dog, but he's got a big mouth, and I use his toothpaste, that tastes like peanut butter. You know what he does?
Tries to bite it.
He tries to chew on my finger like it's peanut butter. I'm like, no, that's not. Stop it.
Well, I guess that's still better than what a cat toothpaste is. Well, what do you think cat toothpaste is?
Fish.
Uh-huh.
Do you know my parents have a cat that will not eat fish? She hates fish. She won't eat cat food. Tastes like fish.
She probably eats chicken.
Yes, chicken or anything else besides fish.
My cat used to throw up fish. Anytime you had anything like tuna or any of that. So, like out of the can, like actual cat food. He loved actual tuna.
Tuna.
Compared to fake tuna, of course. Tuna.
We are just saying tuna now, right?
Tuna?
Why not?
Tonight.
I don't know if you just said tuna or tonight.
Tonight.
Both.
He said tonight.
Tonight is tonight. Tonight is for the tuna.
Have I had a stroke?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Am I still alive?
I think we all. So I think we should wrap it here.
Am I dreaming now?
So we want
Dog
to thank
chasing
you. We want to thank everyone for coming out and watching. Once again, this is the Sons of Bananas podcast, episode 8. We'll see you guys next week with episode 9. So until then, have a good week. Goodbye.
Have a good week.
Bye.